here's what I've got. So I have kind of a master project that's kind of a pseudo project of sorts that just helps me make sure that I have a project created for that slot. So I have kind of a cadence of content that I intend to release. Did pretty well with it last week, and I intend to try to stick with this. Solving some of my motivation stuff recently has made me realize that this is actually doable. So it may not land exactly the way I need it to over the upcoming month, but this was at least the intention and the plan to shoot for. So the way this ends up working, I have on Mondays I have a Twitch stream, of course. Tuesdays I have the weekly impulse, which is second on that list. Wednesdays I have either a free webinar or I will have an Analog Joe webinar. And if it happens to land where I don't have either of those, it's just a blank day. I use it as like a prep day for other work or for some other content that I'm working towards. Thursdays are generally a YouTube video if I can pull all that together. And then Fridays is a combo of a bookworm recording / episode release and a blog article, which I did not get out last week, and there's a reason for that. Because I found out that the thing I was going to release it on actually had a tweak I needed to make to it. So I ended up spending the time on the tweak instead of releasing it. Saturdays and Sundays I don't release anything, and then the cycle repeats. The three at the bottom, I've got 2 Analog Joe webinar items there, and then the card catalog, which is the monthly newsletter for Analog Joe members. Which, if that is of interest to you, analogjoe.com. And I think I've got one. Yeah, I've got one that I'm working on that'll be released here before too long. So that one I got some work on it done. So anyway, the way this works is whenever I create the project for said item, I check it off this particular meta project, if you will. So once it ends up in this list over here, it gets checked off here. And just as an example, like I have the weekly impulse tomorrow that I need to write because I haven't even started on that. That would be, let's see, I've got a newsletter. What is the date tomorrow? I don't even know. I don't even know what it's going to be about. I should probably update people on my ADD stuff. Unless there's something specific you guys want to hear about tomorrow in the newsletter. Could probably put together my thoughts on the Omni group. What do they call that? Their roadmap, which I want to look at whenever we're done with this. I'm going to switch over to some article stuff, and I want to look at their roadmap first. Oh, that's what it is. We're going to do this. Apple Fitness Plus disappointment. That's tomorrow's newsletter. Okay, so what you just saw, just to explain that, I just created a template project based on a text file. This is the steps that I go through to put out that newsletter. Once I have that template created, I just check this off here, and it's just a repeating thing. So then I've got that set up for the next one. Easy peasy. I do not have a webinar at all this week. Actually, I don't have one next week either. Well, actually, that might change. This one we may do next week. but we'll get to it in this lineup. YouTube video for, what is that, 28th? You can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it here. Get rid of me. You can kind of see the dates there. I know that's kind of small. I get that. My apologies. So the YouTube videos, I'm actually going to have 2 this week, because I'm going to take today's stream. I'm recording it currently. I'm going to take this piece that we're doing, make it into a stream recording, post it to YouTube, and then the latter half of this, kind of the review of tech articles and stuff, I'm going to take that, cut it down a little bit, and post it as well. So I'm actually going to have one of these. We should release that on Wednesday, I think. This first part. YouTube video next Wednesday. How to set up content calendar in OmniFocus. And I'm terrible about capitalizing these things correctly. Okay. I'm going to check that off because that's one, but I do need to set up the other. When's that got to come out, though? Got one on Wednesday. I can set it up for Saturday. Next Saturday. I'm just going to call this articles stream recording, because I don't know what I'm going to title that yet, but that'll tell me what I need to know. Okay, there's that one. Bookworm recording. Oh yeah, I don't have this on here. This one's kind of cool. Just to show you this. Do I have this up here? Yeah. This is, so these are the templates behind what I'm doing. There is a 2 sets of tasks here. So there's the actual recording of Bookworm, and then there's the posting of it. And I have those as 2 separate projects. So that's all in one file. I found out that whenever you use this templated projects script, it actually can do both whenever I do a single text file, which is kind of slick. The record date is this Friday. What episode is it? I don't even know. I'm terrible at this. We just released 111, so it'll be 112. Book title is The Organized Writer. And then it's releasing, I don't know what day that is either. Do I have a calendar up? I do now. Let's put it at, today's the 25th, so it records on the 29th, so it releases on February 5th. 0205. Okay. See how that one creates 2 different projects for me. One's for the recording of, the other's for releasing it. That one's, oh, I gotta post it to the calendar. Easy, easy. Okay, so there's that one. The blog post, what days it gotta be? On the 29th. I know what the first one needs to be. I'm not sure where it's gonna go after that. Oh, 1/29. What do I want to title that? It has to do with, so the OmniFocus auto parser is coming over to iOS. I have that script written. It's kind of an odd, and that's the one that was supposed to release last week. I was in the middle of writing it and found a problem with how it was working. So I have that fixed. Auto parsing tasks in OmniFocus on iOS. All right. So there's that blog post. That takes care of next week. Well, no, that's this week. That's this week. Great fun. Which brings me to the following week. Dare I let Josh pick the topic of a stream? Because the first thing I need to set up here is the streams. Maybe I should just run through all the streams for... That would be bad. I feel like you would pick something political. It's kind of been your thing lately. So the easy thing to do here is this part. Where'd my calendar go? So this would be on the 1st. Oh, wait. That's an easy one. We'll just do our bullet journal. Migration. Justify my use of OmniFocus again? It's purely for content stuff. For templated projects, that's it. That's all I use it for. Setting up February bullet journal spreads. That actually works out well timing-wise. All right, weekly impulse. So, Carol, one of your minis is in white. Wait, did you see there's a new... Where is this at? I just saw it on Twitter. Goulet Pins posted about it. The Smoke Rose Gold. This. Did you see this? It looks nice. Oh, I hate those. I like it though. You get the smoke for a wedding anniversary. Nice. I like it. All right, so then next week, the newsletter. What are some of the other things I have on my list here? I got the Apple Fitness one. Wait, I need to check these off of this list. Josh, no Twisby. Let's see. I've got the Apple Fitness one. Oh, the auto parser. That was the other one that I pulled off this list. Can you come on for the Apple Fitness? That's going to be in the newsletter tomorrow. Spoiler alert, I can't use it. The Fitness Plus deal. All because Apple Watch. They force the need for an Apple Watch. Yep, you got it. Okay, what should we do for the newsletter a week from tomorrow? buffering issue. Yeah, it's definitely on your side. My apologies. Okay, here's some of the stuff I have on this list that I'm debating putting into this structure in some form. Okay. I've been using Basecamp at church to manage a lot of tech projects and such. I've been debating if this should be, it has to be a public thing. It wouldn't be a newsletter. Either an article, it's probably better served as a YouTube video about how Rome research could change to appeal to long-term power users, I guess. Like, how do they make themselves a long-term tool instead of a short-term money grab, essentially? I'm not going to talk about it that way, but that's kind of what I'm debating. Dude, what's with your internet? Trip mode. Turn the background stuff off. Oh, you know what? Next week, I should do a thing. The newsletter is pretty good for like personal stuff. At least that's my preference. I should do the catch up about getting help for ADD. I'm going to do that. What day would that be? It'd be the 2nd. I feel like I need to take you guys through my journey on that. Oh, I got a webinar coming up too. So that would be a week from Wednesday. That's actually good timing to think about it right now. Just because it would mean I'd have a week to do some of the promo stuff on it. And if I nail it down today, we can promo it slightly in the newsletter for tomorrow. It's only on Twitch. Is it in Safari? This is another reason I like trip mode. It puts it like in the menu bar and you can see what is using data at any given time. I'm a fan of that tool. That's actually going to be one of my articles or some form here in the month of February. It has to be because I use that thing all the time. Just installed it on our backup encoder at work. Vanishing point, platinum, and a custom wooden fountain pen. Nice, Carol. Oh, no. That's not Carol. My bad. That's Josh. I thought that sounded familiar to Josh's list. And I was thinking Carol had a lot more than that. Which one's the one that Neil Gaiman uses? I thought he had a handful of them that he used. Is it just one? Building a business budget spreadsheet. That's kind of a boring one. Learning how to bunch. It's not really great for a free webinar, though. It's going to be right after the beginning of the month, so it could be something along getting started with bullet journaling. But that's kind of overdone, I feel. It's not really something I've been doing like right now. Graveyard Book kind of got me into Neil Gaiman, and it's totally Josh's fault. 100%. All of it. What do you guys want to do a webinar on? Is there something you've been wanting to learn about from me in some form? What would that be? I feel like teaching you how I stream is boring. Could look at how I do, like, keep up with articles, but that's just download NetNewsWire and go. We could expand it, I guess. OmniFocus is an easy one. Woodworking? I just built that breadboard, like the cutting board. I've thought about that as a stream at some point. Running my gear out to the wood shop, which is actually not as hard as it sounds. You have a vested interest in that breadboard? That was actually with wood from... I feel like I gotta turn off some of those things. The gaming table. Yeah, that's true. A free webinar. I feel like I could do something along the lines involving like connecting the dots between books. At some point, I'm going to do either an article or video about, and maybe we'll put it on this list, of how I'm using my phone as a webcam. Connecting without using Roam. I might be able to get on board with that. But I do it all in my brain. I don't do anything external. That's the trick there. I need to reorganize this too. This is all I ever do to make this clean. Sort it by name. Because then they're in order by date, because I put the date at the beginning of those. Because I am lazy. Rome is just all over. It just is. Like even the people who don't like it, like me, use it for publicity. We do. Just to rail on it. Rome is pricey? Yes. I could do a webinar on alternatives to Rome. But I feel like that's kind of a known. But I could take it from a different angle, too. Alternatives to Rome, but it doesn't necessarily mean things like Obsidian or NV Ultra or NV Alt. Namely, alternatives to the concepts of what people put into it. Or note cards, yeah. Let's try it. We'll see how many people show up. I'm game. Airtable? That's a solid. Where is it? There it is. Free webinar. When will this be? This will be on the 3rd. February 3rd. Alternatives to Rome research. I'll be setting that up when we're done here, because then I got to promote it tomorrow. Let's see, where was that? Here? YouTube video next on the 4th. Include Notion? Probably. I should probably be writing these down that you're referring to. Alternatives. What are the ones we've said? Airtable, Obsidian, Notion, NVAlt, NVUltra, because those are technically different. I've seen people using Evernote claiming it's an alternative. I'm not sure I would agree with that, but we should probably mention it. Craft, I've seen talked about. Craft.do. Is that it? That's all I can think of at the moment. Yeah, I know you like Evernote. I feel like we'll talk about a lot of different things with that one. Okay, a YouTube video. That one's going to be pretty easy too. That needs to be the same as the, it'll be another recording from the stream on Monday. February bullet journal spreads. I'll come up with a better title for it. But that tells me what it is. Where am I at? Bookworm recording. That would be on the 5th. Well, that would be 2 weeks out from that. So what is that one? On the 12th, I think is when that should record. It could be different though, because those sometimes morph, which is fine. But this at least gives me the... No, it wouldn't be on the 11th. It'd be on the 12th. Oh, that's because that says the 12th. I just read it wrong. Because I'm a dork. It'll be episode 113. The title, what is it? I think I use the para method. I'm not 100% certain, but I tend to do like the folder thing in different places. What did Mike pick? Oh, the great mental models. That's what this one is. And then that would release on... What is that? It would record on the 12th, so it would release on the 19th. Okay, so there's that one. Blog post. I've got a bank here that would probably do well for that. I feel like at some point I need to like... Because Mosquito, I feel like you've brought up the para method before. Maybe I'm just connecting your name to that concept for whatever reason. I feel like that's the truth, but I could just be making that up. When is this? This is the 5th. I will have the OmniFocus thing out before that. We need to do a thing on trip mode. As an article. Because I use it even when I'm just zooming on things. Like doing a Zoom call and such. Because it helps so much. The 5th, right? Yeah, it'd be a Friday. Saving data with trip mode. I need a better title for that, but that'll tell me what the article's about when I look at this. Okay, that's the blog post. The Analog Joe webinars I kind of have set out into March. I already have these built. So these are already done. Yeah, so that puts me out into March and April with those. That's fine. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and set... I'm going to go ahead and set up the card catalog just because I want it there. O301, month, year, March 2021. Yep, I just want it there. Okay, so then that takes care of that one. All right. So that puts us out to the 8th of February for the stream. What are we going to do for it? We will have done the bullet journal stuff before that. Are you around on the 8th, Josh? If you're around, I'm game. We can run through articles and stuff. You're always around. I'm game. The 8th. Write her down. I'll send you the thing now. You folks saw it here first. Josh just committed to the 8th. Sending it to both of your things. I think. Yes. I'll have to update it with the Zoom stuff, so it's not there right now, but it's sent. Okay. The 8th. But we still got to come up with a topic between here and there. Coolio. All right. Okay, so that gets us into the next newsletter. One thing I wish I could do is get like a good view of this list over here. If I could get a view on which of those are newsletters, videos, streams, it'd be kind of nice to get a read on that. But I mean, I have like some tags I could use like for these project types that are just showing up on it by default, but it's not clean. At some point, I should probably figure out how to do that. But here we are. Oh, Curtis McHale. I'm grabbing this link. Curtis McHale just tweeted something that I want to review when we're done here. Because I think it'll be interesting. Fundamental flaws with Cal Newport's time blocking notebook. Interesting. See what his thoughts are when we're done here. So we have a newsletter in 3 weeks. What else is on this list we could do? Oh, I want to do... What would this be? This would be the YouTube video for that week. I want to do a video on using a Stream Deck for non-streamers. What would this be, the 11th? What do I call that? For productivity? That's probably what would get the click, as terrible as it is to say that. All right, bye, Josh. Thanks for joining, unless you're coming back, but bye. Using a Stream Deck for productivity is one. I've got another one about like fancy tricks for your webinar, which I think has to come after. Okay, so we can do an article that week about what do we call it? What would the date be? 21/02/12? Yeah. It's like using OBS as a webcam, but it's like upping your webcam game. I'm calling it that because I think it'll help people in the process. Like whenever I present on Zoom, I don't always grab like my camera, like this phone as a camera, and send it over. I always pull up OBS and run it that way, purely because I have a lot more control over like the lighting and the colors and stuff, but I can also do some fun stuff like moving things around, putting things on screen and stuff. So I want to do something like upping your webcam game there. The 12th, yeah. I still got to do... I feel like the weekly impulse... What's an impulse I've had lately? That's where like the ADD thing, getting help for it, was almost an impulse. What's something else I've done somewhat impulsively? Part of the trick is I've been trying to become less impulsive and have been specifically working towards that. What's a specific thing I do in my notebook that I haven't talked about? I could talk about like the annual theme, like checking in on theme 2021. I did this one. Sometimes when you flip through your notebook, you find things that you've done that aren't checked off. At least I do. This is, so when people talk about content creation and how it's like a super easy job. All you do is write, and all you do is create videos, and all you do is like all these super simple things. This is the hard part about it. Like, this is the part that people don't always show you. And it's part of why I wanted to show this to you today. Like, this is what goes on behind the scenes. Right? Like, you don't see this a lot. It's like, okay, coming up with what is it that's going to be out there over the next month. Like, that's what a lot of people do, and they try to plan ahead like that. But coming up with those topics and building it out and then sticking to it after that, like, that's not something that's super simple to do. And I know that for me, like, if I go through this process and I build this all out a month ahead of time, I am much, much more likely to kick out a lot of things regularly. But I'm also I've been playing around with the concept that Gary Vee has of document versus create. Not sure how I feel about it quite yet. It sure seems like documenting is creating in a lot of ways. So I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, so upping your webcam game. What was the... I gotta find it in that list now. Oh wait, I haven't created it. That's why. Got it. I was like, where is that? I don't see it. It's because I haven't made it. So I've got the stream with Josh right before that. The article previous to that is saving data with trip mode or something along those lines. The bullet journal stuff will come out the week before. We need to do like a curated list of some sort. Like a list of favorite somethings. For the newsletter, that is. Where's my list again? There's probably something connected to one of these. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to talk about my new keyboard on the newsletter. Because that was kind of an impulse purchase. And I know what we need to call it too. So 2021-02-09, the slippery slope of mechanical keyboards. As you hear me type on one. All right. And we can talk about the Keychron K8 as part of that. Because I've been learning like the differences between a 10 keyless and a full-size keyboard in that process. So definitely have opinions one way or the other, of course, but it is what it is. All right, where does this bring me to? So this would be 15, 16, 18, bookworm solid. Okay, so I'm back towards the top, I think. Let me put this all in line. Okay, so then that means we'll have a stream with Josh, the newsletter. I'll have a webinar with Jeff Sheldon on that Wednesday. Thursday, using a stream deck. Friday, I'll be bookworm plus an article. And then I'm into the following week. So then I'm back onto a stream. Add template. Twitch stream. 2021. 02, right? The 15th? Yes, it's President's Day. What are we? We got 2 weeks out? We'll have 2 weeks to build here. So that would be President's Day. What else is going on that week? It's right after Valentine's Day. Not really doing anything for Valentine's Day. I'm not one that does a lot of content around the holiday. Like, I'm not one that does that. it would be the middle of the month. We will just have had Josh on. We did the bullet journal previous. Yeah, because that's next week. So the bullet journal will be next week. Josh will be the week after. And then we'll have this on the 15th, whatever it is. You know, I think what I'm going to do, because the streams are kind of laid back, of course. Like, we're not... what do I say? Super formal and prepared for these a lot of times. I think I'm just going to call it Twitch stream. And we'll figure out the topic as we come closer based on what's going on at the time. Because the Twitch streams are really good for like current events type things, like what was posted in the last week. It's pretty good for that. So I think I'm just going to put that on for the following two. Oh, I want that. And then that one would be on the 22nd. Yeah. And then that would put me into March. So I'm not going to go any further than that. Now, one thing I haven't talked about is the video course that I'm working on, too, isn't in here. That's a thing I'm still working on as well. Because I don't really have like a templated setup for that. All right. So the newsletter needs to be what? What else is on my list of content ideas? The previous week would have been the 9th, the slippery slope of mechanical keyboards. Getting help for ADHD. Apple Fitness disappointment. Oh, this is one that I think would be good for it. Changing systems as you mature. It's one I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like, as you get older and you start to become more understanding with your systems, what do you, like, how do they change? That got Carol's attention. This is where the list making thing comes in. Let's see. I always try to type right away. 21. More grumpy. This is the 16th. Yeah. Changing systems as you mature. I have found that, like, as I've gotten older, like, even versus the last 6 years, I feel like I've matured a lot. And the systems I used to use when I first started building an online following, especially in OmniFocus, they have changed significantly. So maybe I should call that newsletter Grumpy Old Man Systems. Promise it's not vodka. Everybody thinks that thing has vodka in it. Okay, that was... So I'll need one more newsletter topic. Can I come up with one right now? And we'll just do these here. Changing systems as you mature. Oh, I have the. I've got a YouTube video for that week already, I think. Learning how to bunch. And I'm talking about Brett Terpstra's tool called Bunch. What is that, the 18th? Yes, Mosquito. 100%. I am with you. Maybe that's the actual, like, underlying intention. Maybe that's why I'm back on paper. I'm with you on that, Carol. It's true. Whenever I've come down to, like, I used to do all these fancy things. If you go back and look at some of my early articles on OmniFocus, there's a lot of that. Some fairly fiddly stuff. Was great for keeping me off of doing the work itself. But it seems like I've been able to get past some of the focus on the systems and more about what the systems hold. But I think that's a maturity and a tired component. All right, what else is on February here? A blog post. Looks like I gotta have a couple blog posts. Learning how to bunch needs to be a YouTube video. Oh, and the last one needs to be the other YouTube video for the month. Needs to be fancy tricks for your webinar. Because I've had a number of folks ask me how I'm doing some of the stuff that I do on Analog Joe. It's amazing to me how many things you can do when you know how to use one piece of software that does video stuff very well. All right. So I got to have one more newsletter. I'll have to put in the next bookworm recording, it looks like. And a blog post. 2 more blog posts, it looks like. Oh, here we go. This will be a good blog post. Because people have asked me about this one a couple times already. 2021-02. This is on the 19th. A Dvorak typist in a QWERTY world. As I can't type. Since I type on a Dvorak keyboard, but I do tech support on QWERTY keyboards. I get asked about it a lot. If you've kept up, like some of my old articles, I like shared my journey of learning Dvorak. Live now, we're announcing a sweeping plan to improve education for all Minnesota students. Tune in. How about I don't? What else do I need here? I need one more newsletter, and I need one more blog post. The next bookworm recording, I don't think I can put in because we don't know what the book is yet. But that one I'm less concerned about. I don't have to come up with what those are. What did I say? A newsletter and a blog post? Using loopback as an audio mixer. Winning the battle against Lyme disease. Though that one's tough for me to write right now, just because I'm not 100% certain I'm done with all the ramifications of that, and I really want to put together something at the end of it. So I think I'll potentially be sharing more about like the journey of it, but not the final result, like what that intends. This is the trick. Like when you make both videos and you write emails and you write blog posts, like trying to figure out what fits where is sometimes the trick. Because I see some things like using loopback as an audio mixer on your Mac might make more sense as a video because I could show you how it connects and moves things back and forth versus just explaining how it works. What is, you know, what we could do? Let's do this. This would be good for me to do. The newsletter on the 23rd, 2021, 02, 23. Working without apps. Because we're going to be done with it by then. That's my intent. That's the goal. We're going to get it done in the next month. Next 30 days. Not quite. Okay, I just need one more blog post, and then we can be done with this. And then I've got a bank of articles I want to work through just to see what's going on out there. One more blog post. What would it be? Let's do this. I'll do the one about using Basecamp at a church at the end of the month. We're still in the middle of like rollout for it right now, but we'll be done easy by then. The only real struggle with doing this many templated projects here is if I change the template whenever I finish doing one of them, I got to go through and like edit all of these. Which then makes it a bit of a mess. This is a big bank of projects here. But again, like this is all of the content that I have scheduled right now up until March 10th, looks like. Well, March 1st, I should say. Because I've got the first on there, but the one on the 10th is an Analog Joe webinar, and that one tends to plan out slightly longer. That's a solid bank of content. Now, here's hoping I can stick to all of that. Say about this spread, like, it's not a spread. It's just, like, it's stuff everywhere. I just really wanted to do that. I've kind of been wanting to do that for a while.